G'day, Jason the Middle-Aged Gear Junkie here. Today we're going to be looking at the PastFx Hot for Flanger. This is the newest, most updated version of this pedal. They sent me this older version about 3 months ago. This is now redundant and they've actually asked me to give it away. It's a prototype, so if you want to win this pedal, stick around to the end of the video and I'll give you instructions how to do so. But before then, let's get on with it and hear how it sounds. Here's my clean sound. I'm using my Cort M600 through my Marshall DSL-40. It's fairly powerful clean, and I will sometimes use the drive channel from the amplifier, and that sounds like this. So I have here the PastFx Hot for Flanger, and as you might have guessed, this pedal is their take on the MXR Flanger from the late 70s, early 80s, which was used fairly extensively by Eddie Van Halen. And if you know Van Halen, you know they have a song called Hot for Teacher, so this is a play on that. Now, the original MXR pedal had these same 4 knobs. We had manual, speed, width, and regen. And in true PastFx fashion, they've added a few extra features to this to make it more tweakable. I've just swapped to my next single coil here. So the manual knob here, now this controls the delay time. So if you know how flangers work, it splits the signal in two, and one of those two signals is delayed and then modulated. So the manual knob here controls how quickly that delay takes effect. So if I have it right down, it's making that modulation happen very, very quickly. If I slow it down, it makes it a bit smoother. So try it about there. So speed, well, that's fairly self-explanatory. So this controls the LFO and how quickly it's sweeping up and down. By having the speed right down, it gives it that comb filter sort of sound. Okay, width, that is the width of the modulation. So right down, again, it has that sort of comb filter, very static sort of sound. The last control here is called regen. Now this is the portion of the signal that is fed back into itself. On some flangers this is called feedback, sometimes it's called color. In this case it's called regen. So if we turn it all the way down, it sounds more like a chorus pedal. When I start to turn that up, it'll start to sound more metallic and we get more of that accentuated sort of flanging. I find when you're using flanger for clean chords, it's best not to play too much and just let it ring out and do its thing. Cool, let's hear that with a bit of drive. When using distorted tones, I think that flanger really adds sort of movement to your sound, which makes it really interesting. So let's have a look at the additional controls that this pedal has. So up here we have a toggle switch. Now on the original run of this pedal, it was named the Waldo switch. And in the up position, you'll see it changes the LED here to a blue. Now this changes the timing range of the clock. It changes it up a little bit. I actually think that sounds better for clean guitar. I think that basically, if you know the difference between the Boss BF2 flanger and the Boss high band flanger, basically the high band flanger is pitched up a little bit, and I think that that's similar there. It has more information a bit higher up. Yeah, so the red one is a bit more resonant, while the other one is a bit more shimmery. Yeah, beautiful. I love that with a clean sound. Okay, so we have a blend control here, which blends your wet and dry signals. So when they're all the way turned up, we have a completely wet signal, which is what the original was. So basically, as I start to turn it down, I then have a blend between my dry signal and my wet signal. So it gives you more subtle flanging. That's with it turned half of the way down. So I'll turn it all the way back up again. We have a level control, which at the moment is all the way down, which is stock standard mode. So if you feel as though when you click on this pedal that you lose a bit of level, that's what this is for. It's basically just to attenuate your volume level. This last switch here is really interesting, and I've never seen anything like it before. Basically, it comes off the MXR Flanger doubler rack unit, and basically it inverts the polarity of the effect, which apparently gives it a more hollowed out sound. So let's have a listen to what that does. Yeah, it definitely does. It's almost like putting it out of phase or something. Wow, that's really interesting. That's actually putting some of my notes out of phase. So that sounds like my frets choking out, but it's actually the effect that's doing that. It's almost sounding like a ring modulator. So yeah, it's definitely capable of some wacky sounds. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set up for how I might use it. So using these additional controls plus the existing controls. I'm going to go back to my distorted sound. I'm not sure I've ever played a flanger before that I've liked as much as this one for using with distorted tones. I think it's really great for giving your sound a bit of movement. A cool way to use a flanger is to use it as a momentary effect, and this is something that Eddie Van Halen certainly did, particularly in his early records. So I'm going to play that opening riff again, but this time I'm going to use the flanger in certain parts just to give them more character and make it stand out a bit more. So basically I'm going to be turning the pedal on and off depending on the part of the riff that I'm up to. As I said earlier, the Hot for Flanger is based on the old MXR Flanger, which was made in the late 70s, early 80s. It was quite a large pedal, and I think it ran off mains power. So it's not very practical to have one on your board these days. So this is a tricked out version of that. Of course, that pedal was used quite extensively by Eddie Van Halen. It was one of his secret weapon effects. It probably didn't escape your notice that I didn't play any Van Halen riffs for this video. My reason being is that I didn't want to disgrace his memory with some second-rate playing. But if you want to hear what this pedal sounds like playing some Van Halen riffs, check out both Pedal Picasso's demo of this and Leon Todd's demo of this pedal. They were much more adept at doing that sort of stuff than me. So what did I think of this pedal? Well, all of the flangers that I own, with the exception of the Boss BF2, are based on the old Electric Mistress, where this isn't. This is kind of its own thing. And I found that I enjoyed playing this with dirt more than any of the other flangers I've ever played. It sounds really at home with distorted tones, which I can understand why Eddie liked that pedal so much. But it also surprised me how much difference this toggle switch made here. It really did change the character of the flanger. So in the down position, which is the stock position, it's a bit more throaty, and then when you flick it into the up position, particularly when I was playing clean, I really noticed that it became a bit more of a subtle effect and probably had a bit more definition. So I actually really liked it in the custom position there. So having the level control there is a bonus. It just means that you're able to attenuate and get this at the right volume so you don't have a volume drop. The plus minus switch there, which came from the MXR Flanger doubler, that was very interesting. I've never experienced anything quite like that. Probably the closest thing I can think of is maybe the filter matrix on the Electric Mistress style pedals, but I think this is a bit different to that. It's really hard to explain, but it's very, very versatile. You can play a plethora of stuff. You don't have to just play Van Halen stuff with this. You could use it as a clean effect and play sort of Andy Summers type stuff, no problem. But also, you know, it sounds great with dirt. I think it's really at home with those sorts of tones. Like most PastFx pedals these days, it has a blend control so that you can blend between your wet signal and dry signal. If you want it to sound stock like the original MXR, just turn the blend all the way up to fully wet. It runs off 18 volts power and it's made from really high quality parts. So if you want to win this pedal, it's really simple. All you have to do is you have to subscribe if you haven't already, and then leave a comment on this video telling me about your favorite ways to use a flanger or your favorite song that uses a flanger. On the 31st of January 2023, a comment will be chosen at random by some software and I will be in contact with you. So that's all you got to do. Subscribe, leave a comment, and you're in the running to win this. If you're looking for more information about the Hot for Flanger or you wish to purchase one, I've left a link in the description below to the PastFx website. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Verly very much for sending these out to me. I feel very privileged that they think of me to send out to test and demo their gear. It's just, yeah, I'm very privileged to be able to do so. If you're not already, you can also follow them on Instagram. I've had many conversations with them via Instagram. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. To support this channel, you can go to the Middle Age Gear Junkies store and pick up some merchandise. I've left the link in the description below. Other than that, my name is Jason. Thank you so much. See you later.